Hey guys, welcome back to the Generational Drama Oh no. Hey guys, welcome back to the Gen D podcast. We're your hosts.
Tyler and Alyssa.
Yeah.
This is our off-topic topic where we talk about things off topic.
Yes, we do. I just got a foot lick.
Excuse me, I'm so sick.
I'm shocked you showed up for this.
I really wanted to.
I'm coming.
I'm not gonna do well, but I'm coming. Yeah, so if you can't hear it in my voice,
But she's hanging in
but
there.
I'm here. I got some coffee and some water
I got my little drinky drink
and my little dog.
and your little dog. My dog
My
is
not so little dog.
up in her room right now. So there's a thing that I discovered today because me and my cousin were texting back and forth this morning. Did you know you can make your own stickers on iPhone?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
From like your pictures?
Yeah, I just discovered that today.
Destiny, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I think Destiny showed it to me a while back.
I didn't know that. I discovered it today.
You just have to like hold down on it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I was like, what? Then you can also, when you're sending the other stickers, you can add things on top of that sticker. Like the normal like smiley face stickers. I didn't know that.
I'm unsure if I knew that.
See, like we were talking back and forth and she said something and she added things on top of it and I was like, what? And then I discovered you could make your own sticker.
I think you can like add it into Snapchat and everything.
That's so cool.
I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that.
Don't quote you. You're just like, but I think it's awesome.
It is.
Like,
it is
what?
awesome.
I was like, damn.
The things that we can do. Although my phone is like, it's on its last leg. It's a 12.
Yeah.
I've had it for like 5 years.
But phones are getting so expensive.
They are. And the new iPhone is like a flip phone.
There's a flip phone?
It's like $2,000.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Oh.
That's what everybody hates about it. Is because they're trying to copy the Motorola Razr, how they did the flip phones. So they're trying to like copy off of that because those became very popular. But the issue with those is that a lot of the times you slam it shut, it's a screen, it'll break.
Yeah, so I know
you can't do it like an actual flip phone.
Well, they had flip phones. There was another Samsung, I think, had flip phones, and then the Motorola Razr became a flip phone as well. We were actually going to switch to the Razr, but they had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
That the screen, the more that it folds, that it breaks in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have this like patented screen protector that like fixes itself.
Huh.
So if it slams too hard, it'll repair itself. It's like patented. They patent it.
How does that? I miss flip phones. I do miss them.
I do too. Everyone had like those sidekicks too.
Yeah. Oh, the little flip where it goes.
Yeah, or like the ones that like, which is a sidekick. Yeah. But like they have the keyboard that comes out. And just because a lot of them they weren't actually like they didn't do the sidekick thing. They just flipped out.
They slide up.
Right. So like those were so fucking cool. And today, as a writer, do you know how awesome it would be for me to have my own little keyboard?
It would be so awesome.
I'd be unstoppable.
You'd be like
the only thing that's stopping me, especially because like when I wrote this Behind Classroom Doors, I wrote it the first draft of everything. I wrote it all on my phone.
Yeah.
And I became really, really good at typing to the point where I would like have a conversation with my dad and I'd be looking at him and my thumbs would just be typing. Yeah. And he'd be like, "Are you having a full conversation with someone else right now?" Looking me dead in my eyes. Yeah, I am. But I was just that skilled.
We were talking with our kids yesterday. The reason why I brought up the cell phone thing too is we were talking with our kids yesterday because our kids were like, "Did you know you got charged 10 cents per like?"
Yeah. So like there wasn't a thing as unlimited data. Yeah. That was not a thing.
That was not a thing.
It was per text message per call. Mm-hmm. And then it was different if it was long distance.
Yep. So we were explaining it to him yesterday. I said, well, I had prepaid phones like growing up until we got on a family plan.
Same.
And I remember specifically like we had to, after like a certain point in time, then all our calls were free. And it was like
unlimited talk.
Yeah. And at that time, I talked more on the phone than I do now. I still much rather talk on the phone if I have like something important to say.
If I have like a long conversation that needs to be had, or like it needs to happen now and I can't text, I'll call you. The flip phones, okay. So, like, I think that iPhone is very unrealistic because not only do they slow down their previous versions,
Yeah.
so we're spending thousands of dollars on phones that don't last long.
Right.
Because they're constantly coming out with new phones.
Right. And they get us because then they're like, well, you had to
It's the
pay off.
newest cool thing.
Yeah. And then you're like, you have to pay off that a little bit more of that phone to get the upgrade.
Right.
And it's
And
like,
then,
that's
like,
so stupid.
so, and then I go through, obviously, it depends on your carrier as well, but I go through Verizon and I don't care to talk about Verizon. I'll out
Right.
like the Sprint guy that was like, remember when I was on Verizon side? You know what I'm talking about? You know those commercials where he was like, remember when I was on the Verizon side? And I was like, can you hear me now? Well, now they can. No, but I've always been through Verizon. And the reason is because when my parents' house, when I lived at my parents' house when I was a teenager in high school, and still to this day, they still live there. They live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
So the only carrier I could have in order to have like a resemblance of service was Verizon. And so to that, I praise you. I praise you, Verizon. And then when I moved to Florence, I don't live there anymore, so it's not like you can fucking get me. But anyways,
Don't go after me.
you can't dox me. I don't live there anymore. No, but when I moved to Florence and the land of Wi-Fi because it's an actual city,
Yeah.
I like stuck with Verizon, and then mainly because it was so cheap. Like it was, and I'm gonna out it. I don't give a fuck. It was $70 a month for unlimited talk, unlimited data, which was super important. So unlimited data, unlimited talk, text. It doesn't fucking matter. But anyways, so I kept Verizon, and then now I still pay $70 a month. Now,
did you get grandfather?
Because I got grandfathered into it. So now with my iPhone 12, my little broken iPhone 12, basically, like if I were so my phone is paid off.
Yeah.
All I pay a month is the $70.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So if I got a new phone, I would have to start paying $100 for unlimited talks. You see the $30 fucking difference?
Yeah.
It might be $75. So still, that's still a difference.
Right. It's still much of
And and so because I was grandfathered into it, but they won't let me trade it in and switch it out without upgrading to the unlimited because it's just not available anymore. They just don't do it anymore.
Right.
And the only reason why I still get it for $70 a month is because it's still the same phone. I think I'm just gonna go until this phone can't anymore, and then I'm just gonna bite the bullet and just pay the $100 a month. But it's stupid, and it's really $90 a month because you save $10 if you do auto pay. But I don't do auto pay because I need that extra couple weeks. You know what I mean?
I think auto pay is a good thing if you have the money.
If you have the money, if you're like, I don't have to ever check my bank account to do anything. I have to check my bank account to get gas. Like I had to check my bank account to literally like pay for my coffee.
Yep.
I was like, and then like if I could ever get to the point where I'm like, I just know I have money in the bank, like you won't know that I'm rich, but there will be signs.
And I think that's with a lot of things. Like Chris, like I tell Chris all the time, I'm like, I'm not a material person. I do like things,
but it'd be nice to be comfortable.
Yeah, to not have to worry about it. And I was there at one time.
Yeah,
where I didn't have to check the bank account constantly. Now I'm just like you. Like today, I did the same thing.
I spent my last $7 on that coffee. I couldn't even get oat milk in it like I normally do because it's an extra upcharge. So I just have to deal with the dairy today.
Like I have to deal with that.
And you know how I normally get a large? It's a medium. I had to size down. But my next one is free, which is why I spent all my money on.
You were like, I still
coffee.
get a coffee
because that way tomorrow on my way to work I get a free whatever the fuck I want.
Whatever the fuck.
Which is gonna be like, and it's free shot Friday tomorrow. But it would be a free shot anyways because it doesn't matter. So maybe I should hold on to the free one and just do you know what? No, because I don't have any money. Where am I gonna find another $7? It's hard out here.
No, I seriously like I had to do the same thing now. It's like, well, yesterday I got because like Chris had to work yesterday, his second job. So I went shopping with the kids. Well, I had to get other things like to do laundry.
Don't the fucking okay, food and groceries is one thing. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Food and groceries is one thing, but doesn't it fucking suck when you have to get like the household products because it's on the back burner, and then like everything goes out at the same time. You need toothpaste, laundry detergent, cat litter, dog food, cat food, everything, everything all at once. And I'm like, And everything costs $20. Everything, all household products cost $20. Everybody knows that.
So I had to get soap for the dishes, and I had to get a new scrubbing thingy for the brush. So it's a clean brush. And then I had to get laundry detergent. So I got laundry detergent yesterday. And I had to get cat litter. And I was like, oh my God. So then it's like all these things. I paid like almost $100 for just those items specifically. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. How much money shit
It's because it is.
And then all we got for dinner, because that's all my kids wanted, because they were like, we want like Chef Boyardee. So all my kids got Chef Boyardee. So I had all these other items.
Nothing like red dye 40.
Right. And 4 cans of Chef Boyardee. And I got these little noodles. And I was like, that's what we're having for dinner.
Oh my God. It's crazy to me because like in the 2010s when I was a kid and I was growing up, which was literally 15 years ago, I guess now.
I'm old.
But it's really crazy to me because my dad stretched $100 for groceries in a month.
Yeah. Yeah. $100 could go a long way.
Because there were so many things that were just $1.
Yeah.
And he would go in a Walmart and he would just go ham on anything that was $1.
Yeah.
And he would buy in bulk for the month. So like $1 chili, $1 bologna, $1 hot dogs, and he would freeze them. And he would even buy $1 bread, the Great Value white bread. I can't eat it now. It's so fucking gross to me. But it's because my dad would buy them in bulk and then he would freeze them. And if y'all don't know what Great Value bread is, it's already terrible and it's already like falling apart. So when you freeze it and then you unthaw it, it is basically like scrambled bread. And it's somehow hard and soft at the same time and wet and dry at the same time. It's just, it falls apart. It's the worst thing in the entire world, literally. And then like you got those like Tostito pizzas that were like $1 at the time, the square ones. I can't eat half of this shit anymore because all we could eat because it was $1.
Yeah, speaking of the Tostitos, so my bio dad worked for that pizza place, the Tostitos. So he would come home.
Oh, he worked there?
Yeah.
That's
for
wild.
like a split second. But when he did work there, he'd come home because my dad was really bad at keeping jobs.
Oh, yikes.
I get that from him.
I think that's very telling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he would come home with these piles of freaking pizza, and we would have that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow. Did you even get like the Tostitos breakfast pizza at least?
I don't remember.
I don't think that
But
existed.
I do know that I was like, I am very tired of
especially the lowest of the low brand. Like if it was like Red Baron, fine.
Right.
I could live off that for a decent amount of time. Even the Jacks, those are cheap and good. I've always liked that because on the other side, you have like Tasha's family, who is like my childhood best friend, and like I grew up with her, and I would always go over to her house, especially for food, because I'm so sick of my $1 fucking hot dogs and bread. Jesus,
I hate bologna. I cannot.
But
hot dogs and bologna.
Tasha's family would go to like a Ruler Foods or like, which is basically an Aldi's.
Yeah.
And if for those of you who don't know, it's like a cheaper version of things, but you can, it's not bad either.
Right.
So they would get these like Jack's pizzas and like all that. And I'd be like, oh God, this is the shit. Like, this is so
awesome.
fucking good. They'd get like the cans of beefaroni and I would just go through those fucking beefaronis, dude.
Georgia loves her some.
They're so good. Nothing like some red dye 40. So there's just something about like something different than, but like nowadays I can't eat that shit.
It is like, I can't do the little, I didn't like the pizzas in school. Like terrible.
And
then those reminded me of those pizzas. So when he would have us eat them, I was just like, oh my God.
And then you have to go to school and you have to eat the same shit.
Yeah. And then like it was also pizza rolls too.
Okay, you know what?
Pizza rolls.
I will say I like me some pizza rolls. I like the pepperoni ones or the cheese ones, but there's something about the sausage ones that are so disgusting. Like it's a spice in them that they put in them that's just
off branding.
It's not that. It's just it's not spicy. It's just not good. It's just it's like wasabi. You know what I mean?
I like wasabi.
You're one in few
little thing. But
Americans that like wasabi. I do too. But I like flavor spicy. I like it if it tastes good too, on top of it.
Yeah.
But if it's just spicy to be spicy and it has no flavor other than that,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I think that's why I don't go for like huge spicy sauces.
Same, because it's all about the heat
It's all
and
about
it's not about the flavor.
flavor.
And I
Yeah.
have to have like a good flavor. And so like Skyline hot sauce, that shit's so good.
I love Skyline hot sauce.
Me
I have a bottle
too.
of it.
Oh my god, I would too, but they're so expensive. They're like
They
$10 a
are.
bottle, and the bottle's like this big.
It's
It's like
not
8
very
fluid
big.
ounces for $10. Like that's such a scam. I think it'd be cool to play like kind of a guessing game on each other where it's like, how much was this back in our day? You know what I mean? Versus
Yeah.
how much it is now. You know, call it inflation.
Call it inflation.
I think
Because it is inflation.
because it is inflation and it's really sad. But like those same, like, you know, the bars brand, fuck that brand.
Fuck that.
I just know that they got like a shit ton of animals locked in cages side by side
Yeah.
in warehouses. I just know that they're just they got rats and shit in their plants. Like back in those yeehaw days, you know what I'm talking about? Like back in the 1800s when they didn't have any like. Have you ever heard of the Jungle Book? Not that book. I think it's just called The Jungle.
No.
Okay, well, I could be wrong about the title and I could be wrong about everything, but if I remember my history class in my freshman year correctly, it was basically like this book that like spoke out and like opened the world's eyes to the meatpacking industry and how terrible it was and how like if you saw meat that was very cheap then it was way past expired and like shit like that there would be rats fingers all kinds of stuff in the food that they would like grind
Like
because
human fingers?
oh yeah, because you know warehouse workers they didn't have any. Oh yeah, there were absolutely no safety standards, which is what brought on safety standards to America.
Yeah.
So it's very good that this book exposed you know meatpacking industries, but we're not just talking about meatpacking. We're talking about any warehouse industry, mainly though the meat one because that shit's just so disgusting. But it'd be riddled with disease, rats, feces.
Well, it's kind of amazing what they can like. They can get away with a lot of things. I mean,
They can
it's
now for
hard.
sure, but at least they're somewhat regulated.
Yeah, but it's hard to. I mean, like obviously not human fingers, but it's hard to keep certain things out, like bugs and sometimes mice. I don't like to think about it because it
I don't
ruins food
either.
for me.
I know. I don't either. But at the same time, it's true. Like these industries, like you have OSHA standards now, but before all that, like people were just living in squalor. Like it was crazy.
It's amazing that we lived as humans for all these years.
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
know. And then like sausages were literally like sausage links were literally just like anything, like bottom of the barrel anything.
That's what I feel like. That's what cheap hot dogs are. That's why I
Well,
can't.
they
like,
are, and I can't either. Oh my god! But that's because of bars. That's
a whole
a
thing.
whole different thing. Because bars are the cheapest brand of hot dogs you can find, and they're terrible. They're so bad.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
I don't know how
anymore.
people can eat hot dog bologna. Same thing for me. Ugh.
I have nom flashbacks when I think about food like that that I grew up on. And you know, my dad would be like, "At least you don't have to eat rice and cornbread every day like I did growing up." And I'm like, I would kill for some rice and cornbread.
I'd rather eat that than what's in this.
I would much rather eat rice and cornbread than fucking like frozen and then unfrozen unthawed bread. Great value white bread. I can't do that shit. And we never had milk in the house because we drank it too fast. So it was like
Yeah.
so I think that's probably why I love milk so much now because when my dad married my stepmom, she was like it added a second income.
Right.
So we got milk in the house for the first time ever and I blew through that shit. I love milk.
See, I can't drink milk like you can.
Ugh.
Like it.
I can't anymore because I have gallbladder issues, but back in the day,
It would hit.
I used to have a glass of milk for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because to me it just went well with everything. It goes so well with pasta and bread.
It does go well with pasta
and like cereal, but like pancakes,
breakfast,
dessert. You know, like it's so good. Like I love milk.
I love it, but I could not. Like I can't. Well, if I leave my milk anywhere, I won't drink it.
Well, same. Milk has rules, okay? You can't leave it sitting out and then drink it. That's fucking disgusting. Don't put ice in it. Don't be that person. Did you ever know anybody who put ice in their milk? Why do you want watered down milk? I don't understand. And then, like, I get it. It's so that it lasts longer outside, but why are you not drinking that shit immediately?
Yeah, like I can't.
Like, why do you need it to last that long?
My
Just
kids
put it
will,
back in the
yeah,
fridge.
my kids will literally sit and like come back to it. I'm like, how?
No.
Like one
I'm
A, because I
drinking
could probably make it sick.
exactly. I'm drinking like a glass of milk with every meal, and I'm finishing it. Like that's the end of the meal to me. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
No, because like milk makes me gag if I let it sit too long.
Same.
This
And then
is,
if it's even a day expired, I'm scared. Like,
yeah, like I put a very little milk. If I'm drinking milk, and it's usually because it helps with my acid or like my
yeah,
heartburn,
yeah.
then I drink milk. But
You
I
have
drink,
heartburn because of all the spices you put in
yeah,
your food.
but I drink very little. Like I get enough for me to like finish
Yeah.
it in like 3 sips.
I don't know, dog. I love me a whole tall, darkened glass milk. Actually, funny enough, Destiny and I, we have specific glasses for milk. Like, does anybody else do that? Like, we have specific, like, we buy specific cups for milk. In her case, chocolate milk because she doesn't drink regular milk. Like, she'll drink it in stuff, like cereal,
Yeah.
but she won't just have like a glass of milk unless she's, having cookies or something. But chocolate milk is like her go-to. She got me like a Care Bear glass that's like this. And also, hot take, glasses are for milk. I don't know. There's something about a glass that does it for me when it comes to milk.
I agree, but
I have like a bunch of like little glass Bigby cups. Oh my god.
see, but I like if I'm gonna drink a milk, I and I always do it with my drinks too. I have to check the glass, the cup,
Oh,
so
same.
I can't drink out
And
of
I kind
dark.
of, oh, same because I'm scared. But I kind of feel the same way. Like, and I feel bad because like when I go to other people's houses, especially, no offense,
Don't take it
but
offensively.
like I'm just a weird person and it like helps it just soothes like my brain a little bit when it comes to stuff. But like I have to check the glass. And if it's not like in a condition that I can use, I will put it back and I will look for another one. Like I'm not trying to be rude. I'll wash it. I don't care.
I put it in the sink.
You're like, Les, here's a dish for you. You missed a spot.
You missed it.
But that's like when I'm at other people's houses, customs are just so like, maybe we should talk about that one time.
We could talk about it now.
We can, but we need to take a little break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess we'll be back.
I guess we'll be back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So we're doing like, just customs in other people's houses, I guess. People like when you go to other people's houses, did you ever like have that like, okay, so like obviously you're not born going to other people's houses.
You grow
a
up
little
going
bit,
into other
and
people's
then
houses.
you go to other people's houses and you experience what their families are like. Have you ever had this like thing where you go to someone else's house and you're like, y'all don't do that?
Yeah. I don't know if I had like odd things. Like for instance, like I know quite a few people that have never had like three ways, like
Yeah,
Skyline Chili.
three ways.
Chris didn't even know what it was up until he came up here because they
I
don't
didn't
have
know
it back where he's
Yeah, they don't
from.
have Skyline around their partner. But yeah, three ways are definitely like it took me a minute to learn what those were too. Because I moved here in 2010.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've lived here for 15 years. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
I'm officially a citizen. I think after 10 years, you're like, once you live there for 10 years, you're considered like
A Kentuckian.
a Kentuckian. Yeah. I hit that mark a while ago. Although I don't know for real because yeah, because I'm 23. It's really weird because okay, so I just said I'm 23, but because it's 2025, I keep thinking that I keep doing the math there wrong, and I'm like I do 15 years from 2025, and I'm like, oh, but I was 8. That doesn't make sense. And I'm like, it's because I'm not 25.
Right.
Like, I don't know why. And I was born in 2001, so you'd think, oh, I'm 24. And yeah, but I have a really late birthday in the year. So I'm 23 for most of the year, and then I turn 25 for the last couple of months, and then I'm 24 in 2026. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just goes on forever. But I love it, honestly. I love that I have a late birthday. I love that, like, I basically get 2 years out of the deal. You know what I mean?
You cheat the system.
I do cheat the system, and it's really nice and it's really fun. Because like everybody goes 2001, you're 24. Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm 23. I got like a while. That's nice.
32.
Yeah.
I turned
'Cause
33
we're
in August.
9 years apart.
Yep.
So we're 10 years, well, not 10 years, like literally, but like we're technically not technically either. It's not at all. But 10 years, I like to think again, the number thing, 10 years apart for like 2 months. Yeah. And then we're back to 9 years.
Back to like 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5. And it's the whole time it's 9.5. That number never changes. But like when age comes into play, I like to think of years differently.
Yeah. It is because like I'm 32, I'll be 33 in August. Technically, would be 10 years apart.
Years. Like it's nice. Like I don't know. That's it.
I feel what you're putting down. I feel what you're putting down.
It has nothing to do with customs. When you go to other people's houses, like you act differently, right?
You do, yeah. More shy.
Bashful. Yeah, until you get comfortable. But even then, like there's some things that families do that you're like, that's interesting. You know, like for instance, like it's weird because we're all raised differently. We're all raised slightly differently. Every family has their own customs, their own like rules, their own ways of living. They're lax on some things and they're not lax on certain things. You just you got to figure it out. So when I was a kid, there was this one house that I went to, and I was all for sleepovers, but there was this one house that I went to, and this was in California, so I was like 6 or 7, but I specifically remember being in the car with my friend at the time, and her parents were driving, and the song from Rent came on.
Which one?
I don't know, dog. It's been years, but I think Rent.
The musical?
Okay. The musical.
I was like, wait.
So, but the movie musical, this song from Rent came on and it had cuss words in it. And one thing about that family, it didn't matter that we were 7 years old. We could sing cuss words. We couldn't say cuss words, but if it was in a song, we could sing it. Now, cuss words in my family was a big no-no, especially at such a young age. But it was cool because whenever I would hang out with her and like be in the car,
to say bad words.
I got to say bad words in the car. And it's just like stuff like that, where you get to like experience things that you're not allowed to do at home. A lot of things like that happened. And then of course you get older and you realize, hey, I probably shouldn't cuss.
Yeah.
In front of parents and adults in general.
I had some family members that didn't get to try like specific kind of candy, like gum.
Yeah.
Until they came and hung out with us, and then they got to try gum for the first time.
Yeah, like the sugar rules. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was there was like so strict. Like I went to somebody's house and their parents were just so strict, and they couldn't have anything. And my little obese ass is like, "Have you ever had this?" And they're like, "No, I literally can't have sugar." And I'm like, "That's crazy."
It is crazy.
Crazy.
I think that honestly, like I get like if you want your kids to have a healthy lifestyle, like.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't think you should completely cut them off from sugar.
Right.
But I think it should be regulated.
It should be regulated. I even think now, like, my kids, like, the Kool-Aid that they make, make isn't Kool-Aid.
It doesn't have all that sugar.
It doesn't have it. Because it's those water packets. So it's flavored water.
Right. Essentially. But they think it's Kool-Aid.
Well, we call it Kool-Aid. And they know it's not, like, normal Kool-Aid. Leo put sugar in it the other day. He was like, it's awful. I was like, because that's not what it's meant for.
That's crazy.
And he's like, but I don't understand. I put it in here and it should taste like pure cool sugar. It was like, no.
Did you ever, this is a little off topic, did you ever like make sugar water and drink it? Or was that a fever dream?
No. I mean, I've tried it, but I've never like.
My dad was like, I'd be like, I don't want water. And he'd be like, make sugar water. And I'd be like, bet. And so I'd just fucking go to the kitchen, put some water in a glass, and put some sugar in it and stir it with my finger. And I'd be like, this shit is crazy.
Was it good, though?
Oh, yeah. It was like sweet water. Like, I can't really explain it. And I can still taste it. Like, I still know it, even though I can't really taste right now. So I can, but not like, I'm not 100% tasting, but I'm not like at 100% tasting capacity. But,
no, I never.
I can still remember what it's like.
I would never drink just pure sugar, which is funny.
But because, like as a kid, you don't see anything wrong with it, right? Especially with your dad going, "Go make some sugar water."
But wouldn't that defeat the purpose of the water?
Kinda. But like that's what I mean. Like now, like I wouldn't like now as an adult, I wouldn't let my kids have pop.
Why?
It's just unnecessary sugar.
I mean, my kids.
You can have water and tea and juice and milk. But you can't have pop until you're old enough.
My kids don't drink pop unless we're out somewhere.
Yeah. So like circumstances like that, like I'm not going to completely forbid you from having it, but you can't have it every day.
Yeah.
You can't, because kids can so easily get addicted to shit like that.
Right. And I am I drink pop religiously.
Yeah, I know a lot of adults who drink pop religiously.
And I wish I could stop it.
Yeah.
I did really good. I stopped once and I was great. It was great. And I lost
Yeah.
a lot of weight. See, most of my weight is because of the pop, not the food
Mhm.
that I eat.
Yeah.
So like I lost a lot of weight once I stopped pop.
Yeah.
Well, there was one day we were out and I was like, I'm gonna have me a little tasty taste of Mountain Dew.
Ever since I
Ever
did
since
that.
then I stopped back.
So my mom, she stopped drinking pop and now she doesn't like the taste of it anymore. Like if she tries to drink it now, she doesn't like it. But I grew up with like I didn't grow up with pop around a lot, but I did have like but when I did have pop in my home, it was diet or zero because my sister had diabetes, so we had to buy stuff like that. So now as an adult, I can drink regular pop, but I go for the diets.
Most of the time my kids do drink diet stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Which I know isn't really any better for you, but like neither is regular pop
I don't think
or
anything's good
anything
for
on
you
this
anymore.
planet. Yeah, literally. Honestly, gang.
Right.
It's anybody's
Anything
thing.
can
Like,
cause
yeah, literally.
cancer.
I can walk outside. Styrofoam causes cancer. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deodorant apparently
What
causes
does?
cancer. Deodorant.
Oh, for sure. You
But
can't tell me that doesn't.
I can't not put deodorant on my armpit.
Same.
I mean, if I'm gonna get cancer, fuck. If I'm gonna get
It's gonna
cancer,
be.
give it to
You can
me
literally not smoke a day in your life and end up with
with cancer.
stage 4 fucking throat cancer.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, and you could not smoke a day in your life.
Yeah.
So like, what is it? What does it really matter? Like at the
We're
end
not
of the day,
discounting anything.
I'm not, and like you shouldn't do these things, obviously for your health. But like, who gives a fuck?
Like, and it goes with customs. Like, I grew up in a household where, like, on my bio side, my grandparents smoked in the house. So I grew up with smelling that smoke in the house. So it didn't matter. Like, I'd go over there and you'd be, and I think that's where I got my addiction for smoking because
Yeah. Well,
nothing like a fresh lit cigarette. We've talked about it
oh
before.
yeah, I love the smell of a freshly lit cigarette, but at the same time, after that, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like after that initial smell, it's done. But like I grew up in a non-smoking household, and but my like I said, my friend Tasha, I spent probably half like most of my childhood at her house, like summers, all that. We lived right down the street from each other, so I mean, I lived at her house.
Right.
It got to the point where when Tasha would get in trouble, she had to like her mom had to ground her from hanging out with me, which in turn grounded me, which is fucked up.
You're like, fuck, man.
But because that was the only thing we ever did. But anyways, when her parents smoked cigarettes, so I was in a smoker. Like I was constantly there. I basically it was my second home. I was around that a lot, but at the same time, like I just got used to it. It didn't really bother me. The crazy thing, they would smoke indoors. The craziest thing to me is like when they would wipe their wall and it's white and you just see all the like smoke
that's
on the
stacked
walls.
on the wall.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think if I'm gonna be a smoker, I gotta do it outside. A
I
cigarette smoker.
I only ever smoked in the house in my bedroom,
Yeah.
never anywhere else.
Yeah.
Bedroom, and then
If it's your house, do what you want.
well, hey, I have kids running around, so I don't want
Right.
all that smoke. So I would dedicate myself into the bedroom. But if I was up and out of the bedroom, I smoked outside. I lived on the front porch.
Yeah, I love a front porch. I love a front porch moment. I think the most crazy thing is though, like when it comes to dinner at other people's houses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's just first of all, it's awkward as hell.
It is very
unless you're
awkward.
like very close with the family. But like, especially those first few times, awkward as hell. Because you don't want to go first. You don't want to do too much. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. They're like dinner's ready, and you're like, oh, and then it's like something you've never had before.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck? And I was lucky enough. I say lucky enough. I was lucky enough to not be one of those picky eaters. Like I can adapt to whatever. I can eat whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that I don't like, but even if I don't like it, I can eat it. There are very few things that I absolutely can't do. But that being said, like I know that there are some people that just make these crazy dinners or like do some crazy shit.
So it's funny because I come from a divorced home.
Oh well. I come from a divorced home, but like on the opposite end where like I got a single parent and not two parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I had like two different customs.
Because my mom just left.
She bailed.
She did. Turned 6 months old, and she was like,
"Peace
"Gotta
out."
go. You can take care of yourself."
It's not funny, haha.
It's not.
It's awful. I'm sorry. No, but I like my bio dad. Like he was, we've talked about it before. He's not exactly the best person,
Right.
but like I grew up in two different homes
Right.
with two different styles of living.
Yeah.
Like
That's like such whiplash
yeah,
too.
and like my mom grew up with such a different living too, because like my uncles, they can eat anything and everything without like complaint. My mom's kind of a picky eater.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I kind of get my pickiness from her. There are things that I'll eat that she won't eat, like wings. She
Yeah.
can't stand wings.
Crazy.
Cannot stand them.
How do you not like wings? It's
I don't
sauce
know.
chicken.
I think she doesn't like it on the bone.
Okay. I can
Um,
get behind that, but
yeah. So she won't eat wings, and I can eat wings. I like wings. I don't mind them. I like the flats.
I do too because it's like you have to work for them.
Yeah, I
You
like the
know?
little. I like the flat.
I like when you have to work for it a little bit. There's something about the work that
It's
like
entertaining.
it is.
We had Buffalo Wild Wings the other day.
Oh my god, so did I.
Oh,
That's so
that's
funny.
so funny. And it was so on point. Like it was
Yeah.
on
I
point.
love that.
And
Which
wish
one did you go to?
the one over
In Florence?
yeah, in
That's the
Florence.
one I went to.
I'm surprised we did. Well, we went later. It was
Oh,
kind of a
I went
later.
earlier.
Yeah, it was like a little late dinner. But I got hot wings with
Oh my god, so did I.
extra wet.
No, I didn't get extra wet.
Oh, I love extra wet because then
I
you
tried the
can-
barbecue ranch. I loved it. But I'm a ranch girly. I wanted barbecue and I did medium. I
Yeah.
didn't do hot.
I do hot.
Because again, is more flavor. It's like medium is like the perfect mixture of flavor and spice to me. But I don't know.
That's kind of how I feel because I eat spice all the time. I feel like I'm starting to slowly like adapt to the spice.
Right.
So the less spice that I feel like it is, the more I have to put on.
Yeah.
So to even taste the spice, which, like you said, I like the flavor. The hot for me is perfect. I
Yeah.
won't go above because once you go above the hot, I feel like it loses the flavor.
It does. It has no flavor. It's all about heat.
I like the flavor.
I
So Mackenzie, she went up from medium to medium. She's stepping her game up,
Ooh.
and you can tell she was struggling a little bit.
Oh, that's when you need to get like a glass of milk again. Comes into play here.
And I was like, okay. I was like, try this and see it. She died when she tried my wings. She was like, it was funny.
It's a little
her
spicy.
face was starting to sweat.
That's when you get like the bucket of ranch, which is basically milk. And then you just
which is basically milk. So, but I grew up in two different households. So
Right.
my traditions were a little bit different. Like at my mom's, we could have whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
Like my mom, it was a free for all. At my dad's, like it was very structured. We had to ask if we wanted a snack.
Wow.
And like we had to.
Which it does make sense. I do think there should be a nice little medium of structure.
That's kind of what we do
Freedom.
here. Like we have that little structure where we're like, you know, if it's a certain time, then no, you're not gonna. If it's like right before bed, no, you can't have a snack.
Yeah.
But like if you ask before bed and we have the snack, you can have one after school. Like it kind of depends on the situation.
I think that like I am it's really weird because I'm so liberal, but I'm a very traditional person. And it's mainly because I didn't grow up with those things. So like family dinners, very important to me.
I didn't like even growing up, like me, my brother and sister at my bio side, like we sat at a dinner table.
See, I never got that. I mean, I did every now and then, but that's only because I pushed for it. And my dad didn't start cooking because, you know, my dad was a single father. He was always working. And, you know, it's hard to do that. So
Right.
I would fry some bologna and call it a night. But some of that bars, oh my God. Anyway.
Some of that bars bologna.
I always pushed for family dinners and I always pushed to do things as a family because I loved the idea, and I still do to this day, of a traditional family lifestyle. Love the white picket fence, the suburbia neighborhood, because I grew up in a trailer and I grew up in a shitty one at that. Now trailers are a lot nicer.
They are,
but back then, you know, they were trash. Like that's the reason why they call it trailer park trash. But trailers, you know, I grew up in, you know, very poor circumstances. So that, you know, nuclear family ideal is just, it's always been something that I've strived for. I've always wanted to live in suburbia. I've always wanted the minivan and the, you know what I mean? Like you to me are living my dream, like getting to suburban stability. You know what I mean? The middle class family, you know, I know you're lower middle class.
There's no upper middle class anymore.
No. But, and you're on that poverty line. You're weavering.
We're reavering.
Me
We're
too,
there.
dog. No, I'm just poverty. But I don't know. I always loved that. I was so jealous of kids who got that. Going over to people's houses and they had a pool. Like I thought that shit was bonkers. Oh, let's talk about that. How like people seem rich to you based on what they have in their house,
Yep.
even if they're not rich at all. Like
Yeah.
I would go over to someone's house, like if they had a pool, I thought they were making bank. I thought they were making bank if they had a pool. Honestly, if they just had like a house, I thought they were
rich.
millionaires. Like
Yeah.
I was like, you can buy me anything. Like,
It's funny because like I did like my both my family had a house like houses like we lived in a suburban area as I
yeah,
got older, but that was in due time. And then of course like as time went on, like my mom lost her job, and then my dad lost his job, and then my bio dad, like he had the same consistent job for a while.
yeah,
So it was like you kind of lived in like I lived a okay lifestyle. We
yeah.
weren't exactly the richest,
hmm
but we lived an okay lifestyle.
That's all I want. Like that's all I've always wanted.
I just
Like
want to be comfortable.
right. Like I growing up and even to this day, and this is no shade on my parents or anything cuz my dad did everything he could and he was a great dad, but and he still is. But, you know, it it sucks as a
Mm,
child knowing that you can't even ask for anything
mhm.
because you already know what the answer is. But it's not just about the fact that he's going to say no. It's the fact that he would if he could, but he can't. And so you even asking, is hurting him because he has to say no.
Because he has to.
So
Yeah.
like if I needed money for field trips, if I wanted to go to the movies, if I wanted to go to the mall with my friends or anything like that, I was always the one with no money. If I had to go to a field trip, I didn't get, lunch money or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like I was on the free lunches
Yeah.
cuz poverty. I just like it's like certain things like that. Like I couldn't even ask growing up for anything. And even as an adult, I know I can't ask for anything because the answer is no because he can't. And I understand that.
I saw a TikTok the other day where it was talking about we didn't ask to be here on this planet, and this planet should have free resources, right?
At the very least free tampons and
Yeah.
pads.
And so we live on a planet where we had to pay for like basic living, right?
Yeah.
Which is insane in
We have to pay
itself.
for water.
Yeah. Which is it's crazy. I do think that if you want like a bigger lifestyle,
Mhm.
then you have to work for that lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should have. We talked about it last time
Yeah.
too, where we had to pay for basic housing or
Mhm.
basic food, stuff like that. We shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
There's no reason because we didn't ask to be here.
Yeah. And then like not to mention like the shit that gets wasted by the rich.
Yeah.
Like the shit that they waste just to do it. Like you see a lot of these like creators on TikTok or whatever platform you want to go on, and you see these creators who are literally just making food, like massive amounts of food or whatever for videos, and then throwing it all away at the end. And I'm like, you could take that to a shelter
And feed a whole
and feed
family.
everybody. Like I don't know, and it's the waste that bothers me the most,
Mhm.
because there's so many people out there in need. And then I will say, I think it's kind of crazy about the whole. Okay, so you know how like when you go to a store and they're like, "Do you want to donate or whatever?" Or McDonald's is like, "Do you want to donate?" Round up
Mm.
to donate. I have no problem donating, but they're getting a tax write off of that, which is the only reason why they're doing it in the first place.
Right.
Not because they actually care. And then a lot of the
Mhm.
times, most of the proceeds goes to them, and
Yeah.
they just give like a certain percentage to the charity.
Yeah.
So it's just better to do it directly to the charity
Hmm.
than to do it through those
I agree.
organizations.
That's why I never donate.
Yeah, I don't either, and I don't feel bad either. Fuck you.
Thank you
Anyways,
for making me
but
feel bad.
here's my thing: is like, do you want to donate to feed a family? And I'm literally on my last $7 buying food, like and I'm like, I'm one bad week away from being right there with them.
Right.
I live right next to a soup kitchen. I should just go.
Right. I think it's insane. It's crazy.
And then you got people who are buying like like $100 clothes and never wearing them, and they're just sitting in a closet forever,
Mhm.
gathering rust or whatever, dust, whatever. And it's like you could literally like donate that, make someone feel really special. I don't know. There's so many things in this world that we could do to be better people, but the thing is that I'm also one of those like very poor people that's like, I can't. Like, if I give you all, like, if I give you anything, that's my last dollar.
Yeah, most of the time, like when we buy clothes, it's not for me. It's not
Yeah,
for
it's
Chris.
for the
It's for kids.
kids,
So
right?
we have to like where we because they're growing, so they
Yeah,
have to have clothes.
right.
I have
Especially kids because they go through clothes. But that's why
yeah.
hand me downs are really great.
Mm,
My dad used to take us to, there was in town, there was this, it was called Hope Center or whatever, something like that. And it was basically a church organization, but
mm,
it was like a store. Everything was free. They had food boxes, like pantry items and stuff, food items. They had clothes. They had like just stuff that people donated. It was basically a thrift store. It was a hand me down store, but stuff people donated, you know? And then, of course, like the food was all food people donated and stuff like that. But we used to have to go there like every week just to get food. And the food, it wasn't great either. You
right,
know, it's not like we're getting a nice selection, you
right,
know?
right.
We're getting like old cans and shit, you know? But that's what would last us when we didn't have anything.
It's so and it is sad, but it is nice because like Mackenzie gets or Georgia gets a lot of hand me downs from Mackenzie.
Oh, yeah.
So like that's the nice part. But like at the same time, like I've had the same shirts
Yeah, same.
for like ever. And so like it drives me nuts because
To
there's
the
certain
point where I'm very like sentimental about them.
yeah, and but my shirts are getting worn out and
Yeah.
I've like put on some weight.
Right.
So like my shirts don't
Weight
fit
fluctuates, you know, all that stuff. I know, and that's why I shop at like a Plato's
Wal-
Closet or, you
Walmart
know,
clothes.
Walmart. I
I'm not happy
grew up
name
in a Walmart
me too.
when I
Like
was a kid. Walmart was my go-to.
I didn't have a lot of name brand, so like when you talk about living in like my mom made decent money,
Yeah.
not enough like to like buy name brands all the freaking
Oh
time.
my god, I
So
know.
I grew up on like
Yeah.
basic clothes where all these
Right.
other people were like
Yeah, they had Nikes and
Nike,
Adidas and
yeah,
fucking Champion.
Aeropostale and
Yeah. Oh my god, that
Hollister.
shit was so crazy to me. Oh my god, I was so jealous of the Justice girls with the Justice boots. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm,
I was so jealous of the Simply Southern, you know, girls who
yeah,
had like, because
they
they
had
just
all
had
this
everything.
stuff.
They had
Yeah,
name brand clothes. They looked nice. They smelled good. They got lotions and shit and perfumes and shit. And I got those dollar little perfumes that smelled
the spray
cheap as
or the
hell. Or
samples.
the samples, bro, literally.
Go to Dillard's
Right. I didn't even know what
or
lotion was
Myers,
until I
whatever.
was
Not
like
Myers.
12. Like, I'd never been to a Bath and Body Works.
And now, like, and a lot of times, like, you feel guilty for splurging money on yourself,
Yeah.
and you're like, but I could have done something like food for a week. But it's
Yeah.
like, why do we have?
It's that inherent
Yeah,
shame
and
and
it's like,
guilt.
but I deserve this. Like, we
Yeah.
worked hard
We
for
worked
this,
hard for it. Why should I have to pay all my bills? Like,
right?
why should I have to get my money just for it to immediately get taken
Disappear.
away?
It's fucking
It's
stupid.
so fucked up. And that's the kind of shit that my dad would talk about growing up, where I was like, okay, dad, you know, but now I'm like, I get it.
As
Like
an adult,
living
yeah,
paycheck to paycheck, and you're like, it's all going to bills. Like, I have nothing left over. I can't even go have a night out without having a panic attack and having to reset my entire fucking week
yeah.
of bills and shit. Moving money around becomes a second nature when you're poor. There's nothing like moving money around.
No,
It's the only way you can live.
it's the only way.
Like, you know, back in the day when checks were still really like heavily used, how they would write checks knowing it would bounce, but it paid the bill long enough for you to get more money to actually
To
pay the bill,
pay the
because
bill.
it would take a while for that check to go
And then you
through.
had to move it around to
Yeah.
make sure that that got paid so you wouldn't get like come after.
Exactly. And can I just talk about overdraft fees for a second? Y'all can get fucked. Why are you stealing? Why the fuck are you stealing poor from the poor? Like, why are you stealing money from the poor?
Especially if you don't do
You know I don't have any money,
yeah.
and you're literally taking $30 a day out of my account,
And
knowing damn well I don't have any fucking money.
there were people talking about the overdraft fees and there was a couple that were pissing me the fuck off because they were sitting there like, well then don't overdraft.
Oh my god, I didn't think about that. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up
I'm
and get out of here.
so
Like,
sorry.
I don't think, first off, if you kind of prevent it from overdrafting, so there's that little thing that you can do
The
that says,
prevention, but then
do,
your bills aren't getting paid on time.
yeah. But I like that though
I
time
do
too
too.
because I hate auto pay
I
sometimes
do
because it's
too.
like you have an extension a little bit.
Yeah.
But after you're done, if you have no money in your account, there is no reason why you should be charging me a bank fee to
Yeah.
bank here. There's none. Like whatsoever. No reason why you should be charging me this bank fee.
Yeah.
And then like in today's society, there's a specific person that wants to get rid of the $8 fee that another person put into place so we didn't have to get paid $32 for a fucking fee. And sometimes those damn fees are the reason why you're in the fucking negative.
Literally.
So you're telling me right now, if I had the money in the fucking account and you're gonna be like, I still charging you that fucking fee, and then I'm in the negative, it's your fucking fault. It's not my fault that I'm in the negative. I had the fucking money in there.
Yeah.
Don't take my money. Don't touch my fucking money.
I agree.
It's
the
so
whole banking
stupid.
system is really fucked.
Everything's fucked.
Everything's fucked.
Everything's
Everything's fucked all the time, and I hate it here, and I'm scared.
This episode is called the fuck episode.
Like, someone come pick me up. I'm scared.
Right. I'm so tired. I'm just tired.
I'm tired of being tired.
I'm tired of being tired.
Tired of being poor.
Tired of being poor.
And sick. And I'm sick of being sick.
Sick of being sick.
And I don't have health insurance. I'm 23 years old. I have a full-time job, 40 hours a week. Make, if it was 20 years ago, I'd be making minimum wage. No, not minimum wage. I'd be making fucking middle class money. No, I'm in the poverty line because even though I make, and I'm going to out myself, I make $21 an hour. Mm-hmm. And I'm poor.
Yeah.
I am lower class.
And Chris, he's lower middle class. Like Chris, there's no reason why with his money that he makes now that we should not be surviving perfectly fine.
And you want to know something? It was easier to survive on $12 an hour when I first started 5 years ago than $21 an hour now.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's our rant about how the world fucking sucks and that other people's homes are weird, I guess. And I guess we should go.
Yeah.
Before we get canceled. But if you agree or relate, I don't care. If you agree or relate, comment, email us, because I know there are other people out here who feel the same way.
There is people that feel the same way.
Because y'all lived, we didn't all grow up that differently. We've all had struggle.
We all had struggle. I think I saw a TikTok the other day too that said that if we were talking about our opinions, it's our opinion based on the life everybody that we live.
Yeah, and then also I feel like if you're listening to us, especially regularly, you understand why we have these opinions. We're not just saying these things to say it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just, what I'm tired of?
What?
I am tired of living through crazy events. We had 9/11. We had. I did. I lived through fucking 9/11.
Bro, I was basically there.
You were.
I was cooking,
and then
I was a month away from being born.
COVID, and then this shit.
And you gotta think okay. So, and this, I'll leave it on this, but you gotta think I was born a month after 9/11, so I've never known an airport that wasn't TSA secured, and then 2008 we had a recession, and then fucking 2015 clowns or 2016 clowns, I don't know, shit was crazy. And then 2020 so 2019 I graduate high school, I turned 18, and then a few months later COVID hit, so we get locked up for years, for a couple years, a year, but realistically 2 years, because it wasn't over, it was just deregulated a little less, slowly phased it out, And I worked through the entirety of COVID because I had one of those jobs where you had to.
Right.
And I just did all of these things. And then now I'm just so fucking weird and done at this point. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a normal life.
Right. And I'm so tired of not having a normal life.
Yeah.
I just want my life back.
Yeah.
Before all the crazy hit. I do. I do. Seriously. Crazy. But on that note, I do have to go get my daughter off the bus.
Yeah.
So Alyssa puts the end of the video where you can find us. We do have a new social. I don't know if she puts it in there yet.
I do.
It's called, okay. So she'll do it all there. But again, if you guys are experiencing any of this or feeling the same thing, don't hesitate to comment on anything. And if you guys have any suggestions for new episodes, hit us up.
We're always looking.
We're always looking. But until next time, bye. Reaper That Sought Me. Make sure you guys go and buy it.
Yeah, so the Reaper That Sought Me, I'll put up here. You guys have heard about it. I've been talking about it. I love it. We love to see it. Basically, it's available now on Amazon as an ebook or a paperback or hardcover. And thank you.
You're welcome.
And I also have another book on Amazon as well called Behind Classroom Doors. I'll put it up here. This one did very well on Wattpad. I don't know if any of you ever got on Wattpad. If you're in my generation, you probably have. But it did very well on Wattpad, so I think you'd probably like it too.
Go check it out.
Definitely go check it out. Of course, follow my TikTok to get like book updates and like for future books, and I also do edits on there as well during my current books. So you get like little clips and stuff, and like basically like all that information is going to be out there. There are links all over my TikTok. You can, or also even like Instagram threads up here. So you can find me anywhere, but
Yeah.
it is Alyssa Love Dillon, the Reaper that sought me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then where you can find us at, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, RSS.com. Those are the main platforms. You can also Google us,
Google.
and they'll be able to find us on all these other different platforms. Also, you can find us on Fanbase, Clapper, TikTok, Substack, Blue Sky, and for now, Instagram. You can find us there at the Gen D podcast. That's how you can find us, the Gen D podcast. Until next time, bye.